again, that does not mean we shouldn't regulate and we shouldn't put, these people to work that we do catch. Why don't we put them to work and force them to serve out like their sentence doing anti-doxing measures? Right here, I have on the stream a list of screenshots of different things of how people have been harassed. Now, some of these two links don't work, unfortunately. Damn it, I clicked out of it. But some of these do, and if I can find one, I would love to show you guys like one example. Here's like an example of one of the links that actually does work, that shows the people being doxxed and the history of these tweets that are still up right now. That's a history of tweets. There's one. So if you go down this list that I'm showing you right here, this is a list compiled of people say, hey, I screenshotted this. This is what's happening. People screenshots. There's a record for everywhere. And people will respond if given the chance. I guarantee you. Because obviously they respond because this forum is proof that they do. And this is a way that we can kind of counteract some of those means of harassment. And I think that it'd be foolish. I think we kind of exhausted this topic, and it feels like we've discussed it to its full extent.
Yes.
So I would say that we are both in favor of actual. If it can be, I would suggest deregulation when we can. However, not all regulation is bad. We do need some kind of regulation to protect people, and I think this might be. I think we can both agree that there are different creative solutions that we can use to protect people from this kind of harassment. Would you say that that's a fair and accurate statement?
Agreed, but again, it's all individual based. For example, if I were to try to do some stupid shit like that, I would first find out how to make sure that I don't get caught, or how to minimize my fallback.
Okay, well, again, but are you saying that we should? So you're arguing still the basis of the argument. You're saying no regulation. We shouldn't have any kind of.
I'm agreeing with that. I'm just saying that.
Again, we've said that people like you who are more intelligent or capable of themselves can get out of it, and they will get out of it. There will be people who get out of the system that escape the system. Okay, they get out of it, but so what? We will reprimand other people that deserve to be reprimanded. Mouse tape. I think you bring up an excellent point. Making people criminals for a minor offense is a seriously bad idea. You know what? I didn't think about that until you just said that. Giving them a criminal record might not be. We don't necessarily have to make them criminals. A lot of times, if you're given a traffic violation, what we can do here on the internet, policing behavior in a way, if you will. What we can do is make it so it's like a traffic violation. If when you commit a traffic violation, you're not a criminal. You committed a traffic violation, you're forced to do community service, or you're forced to pay a fine. Why don't we force these people to do some kind of community service, aka anti-doxing methods? These people have to go through pages and pages and pages of forms for so many hours and serve community service by finding these people that go out there and do that, and then it perpetuates and keeps paying it forward. And hopefully these people know. And like you said, Stepan, we can regulate and restrict their internet. We could put on locks and saying you can't go to these kind of websites. You can only go into these websites that we approve of. Or they can become to like a. Bad idea. I'm just spitballing. I'm not saying that is the idea. That is the answer. I'm just saying these are like ideas that could happen. I don't know whether they're good or bad. Is up for the debate. I'm not saying these are good ideas. Like, oh, my ideas are so good right now. I don't fucking know. Like I said at the beginning of our conversation, I don't know the types of regulations that we can put in place. I am merely a proponent for regulating and putting some kind of punishment behind the people that think that they can get away with death-threatening people and doxing people and get away with it. Because that's not acceptable. Because right now we're just breeding a society saying, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. So it is okay for these people to go ahead and threaten to kill you because the fact that, it's just too much work and there's too many ethical reasons, issues that might be involved. Like, I don't know. It's either you're perpetuating a society that is accepting the fact that that's just how things are. People just want to troll for a reaction. It's okay if they threaten to murder you and your cat. Yeah, whatever. Just shut off your internet. Just deal with it. that mentality is a very passive aggressive mentality. It doesn't solve the issue.
So what you're saying is in essence is, instead of, well, not in essence, but what I get from what you said just now is, the things are the way they are because people are dickheads and idiots. So we should just educate people from an early age about this kind of shit.
I would love to do that. Earlier on in the podcast, I was talking about I was talking about sexual education, but this can apply to this topic too. And you're seeing more and more education coming to fruition, kind of like this. There's a lot of anti-bullying measures being taken at our local schools. In fact, if you're a school official, you are required. You have to go through mandatory training. When I went through my bus driving training, I had to take this thing called Safe Schools, where you learn about bullying and how, as an administrator or some kind of school official, how to facilitate anti-bullying measures and how to educate children on how not to bully. This is it's not. He's not. It's a voice call. This is like a radio talk show, so anybody can call in and talk. As long as you speak English and you want to be respectful, you can call in and be interviewed or ask a question or whatever. So I am more so in favor, and I think that is an excellent point that you just brought up. Why not work spending money or efforts towards educating young kids that this kind of online harassment exists and it's not okay, and teaching kids why it's not okay. I am so for that. I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I would love to see that. I think that is a phenomenal idea that you brought up.
Isn't that okay, god damn English language. Isn't this kind of thing, at least in part, should be what English words should be, there is a word in English that I keep forgetting, and I know it exists.
All right, hang on. Somebody said something that's really important that I need to address. And you think about that while I'm doing this. So, Knock, you said, so your solution is that we should give up our freedom of being anonymous online. Yet look back at what you said about the woman working at Nintendo. Okay, so there's a very huge difference. I'm not saying give up your anonymity. I'm not saying that we should have all of the internet policed and regulated. What I'm saying is there need to be some kind of regulations on the internet that protect people like you from saying what you want to say. Like what you said right now, you said that in a very non-threatening manner. You presented a very logical concern, and you voice it in an eloquent, intelligent way. You didn't threaten to kill me. You didn't threaten to sexually assault me or my family or my animal. You didn't threaten to run people over with your car. That is the difference that we're running into. Again, you guys are pigeonholing the topic, and you guys are only picking out one thing that I'm saying to promote like a perception that you have, like a concern. No, don't get me wrong. If I want to go look up nude co-eds on 18andolder.com, I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to be looked at. No, when I want to view naked women in my own privacy, at my own leisure, or whatever it is that I'm doing, as long as I am participating in consensual activities with other adults in a legal, binding manner, and I'm not threatening to kill people, I think it's perfectly acceptable to maintain your anonymity. I wouldn't restrict people from going into a cam girl show simply because she's objectifying herself by ramming a phallic-shaped object into her genitals, okay? Go for it. All power to people that want to have an anonymity and drop Bitcoin on a cam show or whatever. Don't give up your anonymity. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, though, there needs to be punishment for people that threaten to kill other people. Okay, Jose, thanks for stopping in. Have a good nap. That's the problem that's what I'm worrying about. I don't have the answer for the regulation. I don't know. I'm not saying that any of my answers for regulations are appropriate. And I am asking you, and I am so glad that you brought that up too, Knock, because that is a perfectly, like I said, a perfectly acceptable concern to have. and you voice it in a very adequate way. Now, if I was someone that was like really angry by what you said, like, you took my words out of context, I didn't say that, you mother effer, I will effing kill you for saying that, da 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 da, I should be punished for threatening you for simply sharing your idea. Okay, that's the problem we're running into, and people are playing at this like, well, we can't do anything about it because it's the internet. So it's totally cool that people are threatening to murder each other and sexually assault each other. We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. Just on a logical thinking level, I would hope that people realize that that doesn't lend to the discussion. It doesn't help the topic. Like, we are hurting our own arguments by when we react to other dispositions in such a negative way.
I have an idea.
What?
It's a simple one, but let's say when you're typing something, maybe like a program that's embedded into a computer or into your Twitter or whatever the hell. Let's say you type a particular message that says, I'll kill you and eat your family. And when you press enter, instead of just going off this message, if there should be a pop-up or a window saying, "Are you sure this message contains several of these words?"
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. This is why we need to have this discussion, because that is a perfectly reasonable, acceptable means of safeguarding people on the internet. Saying that, having a pop-up saying, "Are you sure you want to send this message? This contains certain things that people find offensive and might construe as hate speech, leading to possible litigation and potential law enforcement issues. Is this something that you want to participate in?" And they can choose to either click no or yes. That's a deterrent. That's a deterrent towards people saying those things. Nobody's anonymity is being infringed on. Nobody's freedom of speech is being infringed on. They're merely being made aware of the consequences of their actions. Excellent safeguard, I think, in that discussion. I think that would be a great implementation. Stepan, if you don't mind, I'm gonna boot you off now. Not because I don't love our conversation, but I have it's already 1 a.m. in the morning, and I need to get to these other points. If you wouldn't mind, dude. But thank you so much for coming on the talk show and for talking and for bringing a critical look at this issue about what's going on on the internet and about how harassment is being perceived. I appreciate it, man.
Anytime, man.
Okay, guys. So he did legendary. He brought up an excellent point, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys, because you guys all have meaningful things to share and valued opinions. And when you guys get educated on the topics, as Stepan proved he has been, and you guys think about the issues critically and analytically, we can break these things down, we can make sense of it, and we can really come together to actually solve a problem. Look, we have people with varying, all the different kinds of opinions, and because we are generating a middle ground for us to, a safe space, LOL, that's a hashtag safe space, ironically, because we're generating this space where we can all talk and we're all being respectful of each other's opinions, and there's actually been very low trolling. We're actually having a real conversation, and we've just come up with an actual solution in which everybody would win. Everybody would win. That is an implementation, what Stepan said, that would help deter people from making such statements and would help protect people from receiving such statements. So that is a great example. This is why we need to have this conversation. Okay, so we're going to go over here to another video. I want to show you this video by a gentleman by the name of the Armored Skeptic. He is a recent guy I found on YouTube who is a lot like me. I like to say he is probably much more educated and much more eloquent in his speech, and he puts more production value behind his efforts here. So pardon me, my throat is really messed up. The air is really dry in here. It's very, very warm with the studio lights on. So I am trying not to die of dehydration. I'm going to need to get some water in a little bit. But let's analyze these comments really quick. I want to make sure that I'm on the appropriate timestamp right here. So